You know, the 2009 season is kind of an interesting one once you think about it, because when we go back to the 2009 season, there was actually a lot of started park cars out on the racetrack continually each and every week. It almost reminded me of the 2004 season where we had a lot of field fillers entering the entry list and would just park just after a few laps. But just because there were so many start and park cars does not mean they were guaranteed to make it into each and every race. Which brings us to our next team that we're going to talk about, the number 73 team of H&S Motorsports. Now, most of the photos that we're going to show is from the 2009 season, but believe it or not, they attempted a few races 5 years before that. In 2004, they would have Mike Garvey try to make his inaugural debut into the Cup Series driving their number 73 machine. They would try to make a handful of races near the end of the 2004 season, which included Dover, Kansas, Martinsville, Phoenix, and the season finale at Homestead. But the team unfortunately had no speed at all because they were not able to qualify for any of those 5 events that they attempted. After the 2004 season, we would not see them until 5 years later. They would once again return with Mike Garvey as their primary driver, and they also had some sponsorship with him, and it looked like their plans was initially to try to run the full season, because they would attempt the Daytona 500 and then the following 2 races afterwards on the West Coast, which was Auto Club Speedway and Las Vegas. The team would be able to qualify for these events, then maybe, just maybe, they could compete against the other start and park teams. But the team unfortunately just did not have that speed because they failed to qualify for the first 3 events in the 2009 season. At this point, the team decided to take about a 6-week break, and they decided to let go of Mike Garvey temporarily and hired on Tony Raines to drive the car at Phoenix. Which is kind of an interesting thing because when you look at Tony Raines' results in the 2009 season, he actually missed the first 3 races as well. However, he was with Front Row Motorsports. But the team decided to give him a chance, and believe it or not, he actually qualified into the race, beating out 5 other start and park teams. However, the small victory was short-lived because the team would suffer from brake issues early in the race, forcing them to park out and finish dead last at Phoenix. This must have gave a team a spark, however, because they decided to put Mike Garvey back into the car to run the Sprint Showdown. The Sprint Showdown was an expedition race at Charlotte Motor Speedway where they would run 40 laps, and the top 2 from that race would run in the All-Star race. There was more than 30 cars that attempted the race, and unfortunately for H&S Motorsports, they were only able to beat a handful of them. But the team decided to attempt for the Coca-Cola 600 since they were already there, but once again, the team was not fast enough to qualify. We would not see the team again until all the way near the end of the season at the second race at Martinsville. The team apparently gave up on Mike Garvey because they would have Josh Wise driving the car. And it seemed like the team had a really good opportunity to make it in, as only 44 cars were on the entry list for the Martinsville race, meaning they only had to be 1 team to try to qualify in. However, the team was just not able to do that because they qualified 44th out of 44 cars, meaning they were not able to make it into the main event. The team gave up their hopes to run in the Cup Series by the end of the 2009 season. They haven't been seen in the Cup Series since. 11 attempts and 10 times not able to qualify for the event, and only having 1 race under their belt with a finish of 43rd, this team will unfortunately go down as one of the worst ever Cup teams to enter NASCAR.